focus on something which is perhaps uh, more, it's affecting us right away. It's affecting us as we speak. So with that, I would like to suggest to you that it is rain. All of us, I think, in some form or the other, are thinking about rain nowadays, and we ought to. Basically, for a country like ours, no rain means no gain and only pain. We all know that 50% or more of India's population works in agriculture as we speak. Earlier, it used to be much higher. And 15% of India's GDP, therefore, arises out of the activity of this population. There's another 6 to 8% people who are indirectly dependent on what happens out of this. India has a huge arable land, but 60% of that arable land lacks irrigation. And therefore, it's very, very dependent on monsoon, which delivers about 70% of India's annual rainfall and determines the yield of everything that's essential for us, the grains, the pulses, rice, wheat, and in more important way, it decides the business rhythm of the country through the consumer spending and the happiness that happens when you gain something. But unfortunately, 75% of India is very drought prone. So what is it that's happening? There's, you just read the morning's paper. As usual, we have a cloudburst somewhere up in the hills. People put up tents in the riverbed and didn't anticipate so much rain to come. 16 people confirmed dead, many more missing. A little earlier in the week, you could see floods of such a huge, capacity that you had an entire train literally washed away. In Bombay, as we speak, this is the scene. People getting going, whether it's raining or not. Business as usual, come rain or high water. People have got used to this deluge of rain, this rain that brings only gain. And it can also be a problem. Now, whilst all this is happening around the country, Delhi has been waiting for the rain to come. And just as we thought it would come around this time, Orissa pulled out most of that huge cloud and that trough that happens to bring rain. And then now it is swept back towards Gujarat, which is getting ready for some serious rain issues. So we're sitting pretty, but where is this blessed rain? So the whole thing is about, rain and water. And I thought that whilst all this is going on in our minds, let's turn this into a story. Let's just kind of, basically think on an allegorical sense that what does all of this excess water, less water, the whole advent of rain, the celebration that happens when rain happens, too much of a good thing is also bad. So I thought that I'll just leave things for each of you to kind of contemplate and think rather than give you more gyan than is necessary. So, time immemorial, there have been, people trying to make rain. This is a image of a Red Indian chief who's trying to, bring rain down on his tribe, trying to use powers so that the food for the season can be organized. It's to basically nourish crops and to make sure that the thing survives. In today's time, we're trying to do a different form. We basically are trying to bring rain where earlier there was unheard of. Rain was unheard of, literally. It used to be a very dry place. Just think of the Middle East. We found scientific ways of doing some condensation and bringing that cloud to specifically drop some water exactly where we want. And again, I would just say that just use it as an allegory to see that how people do absolutely unbelievable things to target rain onto their citizenry, their stakeholders, on consumers. How do you shower rain onto consumers? That's basically the thing that you use. That, okay, it's a physical thing happening outside, but how do you internalize it as a human and then see that, okay, let's try and make some positive sense rather than just going about things, in a very determined and unidimensional fashion of just going for business, not going for business, and so on and so forth. So I'm leaving it there again for you guys. So boss, basically what I thought was that I'll use this rain thing and just tangentially bring it to a concept of being a rain manager. Yeah, we need to manage rain. It's going to come, it's not going to come, it's all around us. Opportunities, situations that make businesses thrive, and situations that if you have too much of it, it can wreak havoc. So the main thing is to concentrate on this whole concept which people have built up over the years of something about rainmakers, but I was converting it to something being a rain manager, because you can have revenue and you can misuse it. So here is basically a traditional way by which I thought rain managers could be explained. It's basically become a revenue bringer, bring stuff that is the real lifeblood of your organization and what make the cash registers ring. Because at the end of it, rain is that essential lifeblood which makes life as a huge nation, as a humanity, as a tribe, as a business of participant, as a city, in whichever way. So the main thing is, are we rain makers or are we rain managers, where you bring in a bit of sense and balance. And with that, I'll just take you to a very interesting factoid. What you probably have recognized is the map of a large country to the north of our borders over the Himalayas. And what you are usually associating that country with is the Great Wall. The great, the thing that you can see from outer space, a man-made marvel. But did you know that that country is probably one of the biggest rain managers? It has its shares of natural disasters. As weather systems are changing and as opportunities are changing, it's basically managing rain. And by rain, you can take the allegorical sense, it's managing revenues, managing growth. What it did was that way back in 486 BCE, 500 years before Christ, that we learned traditionally, all right, while we were still discovering Buddhism and getting into all of this, where learning was a great aspect of our civilization, here was a set of people who started building a rain management system, which actually then connected over 1,776 km. And today it's created probably the world's largest economic system, the world's largest rain management system. So I'm leaving it in an allegorical sense. Thank you very much.